I want to talk today about something in my personal journey, and it very well could be yours as well. Perhaps that's why you're here. And it's surrendering to grace. The last letting go. How do we actually step off the cliff and claim the life that we truly are? There's a lot of myths to the idea of surrender. And just the word, kind of frightens people. And one of the myths is that you wait until you're in a crisis to surrender. Wait until you're having a dark night of the soul and you have to change. Wait till everything is just so dark, there's no other way. You have to surrender. And this used to be my way a few years ago. I could feel something in me needed to give, a belief in something. Sometimes I wouldn't even know what it was, but I needed to get clear of it. I could see that next level. And I would not sleep for 3 days and nights, hardly eat. And everywhere I would go, I'd go to the supermarket and I'd hear chatting and let go. Then you turn on the radio and then there's a song, let go. And so, it's familiar, isn't it? Yeah. So, and you go and you tell a good friend about this, I'm stuck, something's happening, I don't know what to do. And so, you probably have this Zen kind of a friend, and they just, give you this look and well, you just have to let go. And, you just want to pop them just a little bit, just maybe in the arm or something, It's well, if I could let go, I would, wouldn't I? Don't you understand all of this, emotional turmoil I'm in, this drama, this, all this stuff I'm attached to, you don't get it, do you, And, of course they do get it. But, so that used to be my way. Now I realize we don't have to wait even another minute to start surrendering. We can do some today, a little more tomorrow. It's a process. And, even yesterday or the day before, it's I can't go talk about surrender. I haven't fully surrendered yet. So that's a whole mind trip. I'm playing on myself right there. Self-judgment. Okay? I'm not there yet. Okay? But I'm on to it. And so I have some things I'm going to share for all of us that can help this process. Another myth of surrender is that it means you are defeated and in weakness. But it's actually the way to gain mastery, because when we're able to give up the small self, that thing that we think is power, that we're holding on to control of everything. When we give that up, we align to spiritual power. We get connected in our inner guidance, our intuition. And so it's not a weakness to surrender. It's a strength. Look at the backdrop we have of help when we give up thinking that we have to do it and we have to line out these steps. Another myth of surrender is that, I can't make my goals happen if I surrender. And this is a big one for a lot of us. This whole idea of putting effort. We're all babies of the affirmative action plan and making affirmations constantly. And it's good to be thinking affirmatively, but sometimes we have to give up all of that efforting. And it's just like, releasing things into this box. We have to let go and let room for the universe to come in and do its magic. It's okay to have our goals, but to feel like we need to micromanage every little step and, be in control of that, we're blocking the creative flow of the universe. So there's a law of reversed effort. I'm seeing it more and more now. And Aldous Huxley brought it to the attention of people a long time ago. And it's basically, the more we consciously will to do something, the less we'll succeed at it. So this is a strong myth of surrender. I can't give up control. What will happen? I won't get what I want. Another myth of surrender is that being in control is a virtue, right? I mean, we're all masters in the making by controlling our thoughts, controlling our emotions, right? I mean, I teach this stuff. Well, sometimes we need to do that. But ultimately, it's a false belief. Ultimately, just like when you paint that beautiful sand mandala and then whoosh, you blow it all away. We have this ability to receive. And so being in a yin mode, since I've come to the coast, I have really gotten into this sweet, receiving, receptive state. And this is our yin nature. It's still full of light. It still captures the sun, right? But it's a little different than the yang part of us that is needed sometimes to get things done. We have things to do. We have to go to work. So, that yang part is good. But this part is connected with surrender. So being in control is not always a virtue. So those are some myths. And so what really is surrender then? Well, as Apostle Paul in the Bible said, I die daily. And most of you know this means getting rid of the small self so that who we really are can be born. Gandhi said, be willing to surrender what you are for what you could become. You'd think we would just do that. You'd think we would want to be connected with the unlimited part of ourselves, the grand design for our lives, this wholeness, this oneness. Why aren't we there already? There's something happening that keeps us from true surrender. True surrender is actually liberation. And it's liberation from ourselves. Getting rid of what causes us pain should be easy, but it's not. And Eckhart Tolle gives us a very clear picture of this when he is talking about our pain body. He says that we love to create and maintain problems that give us a sense of identity. So we hold on to our pain and our misery because a part of us likes to I'm going to show you the way. We're going to have this under control. You watch. And we trust that part of us rather than surrendering. So, we play our mistakes that we call mistakes. Actually, everything is sort of happening and it's for a purpose, but there's some things that it's I won't do that way again, really, I learned. But we replay them several times before we let them go, over and over in our heads, and we go through the shame and regret over and over every time we think about them. We cling to our frustration and our worry. You know, for some of us, the thought of letting go of our worry is very worrisome. It's terrible. So we hold this stress in our minds and in our bodies, and it creates illness. And we think all that tension is normal. So we have a lot of feelings. And emotions, I like to think of as energy in motion, emotion. There's a way to reclaim some of that energy. And I want to give you a few pointers with this. It's not so much the emotions and thoughts themselves that cause us the pain. You know, feeling difficult emotions, you can feel them. What the problem is thinking that you shouldn't feel them, resisting them. And when you're resisting having that anger or resisting having that fear, you make it bigger. Resisting is the same as attaching. So I don't know if some of you remember last Thanksgiving I went to visit my son. It was like a 12-hour drive, and I get there, and about in the middle of the day we all decide to take a nap. And so I'm thinking, all right, you know, I'll recuperate. We'll have a nice visit this evening. So everybody's in their rooms, and I'm just sinking into this nice peace, and just, wow, I'm going to have an hour or two. It felt so good. And then I hear this, and someone had started mowing the lawn, like right out my window. So I'm not liking this. And I'm angry about it. And I'm laying there. I'm not going back to sleep. So I'm angry at it. It's a feeling, it's an emotion. But I'm angry at myself for being angry. I'm not liking myself because I'm not liking how I'm acting right then. So it's not the feelings, the original feelings. It's that I've added more feelings about the feelings. So we're digging a big hole here. So we can't always control our feelings, but we can control what we're going to do with them. They don't stick us in a hole. One thing I would really like for us to remember, and this was my reminder to myself a few days ago, is that surrender is a process. We practice it and repeat it. It gets easier to come back to the present moment. We accept what's happening, our feelings. We don't resist it, and that actually they get diluted. But if letting go was simple, you know, like you take a vacuum cleaner and you vacuum out all that's causing you pain and misery, you know, and stick it in a bag and take it out with the garbage. I mean, if it was that easy, you know, we would have done it. But we have to be compassionate and gentle with ourselves, accepting all the resistance we're noticing. So a few ways to get our power back from our emotions and out of being stuck are getting clear on what you've been dwelling on. If you can look at it from God's point of view, see what parts of your story are actually true, and there's going to be a whole lot more that are assumptions, judgments. So try to get clear on it first. And then you can change your story. I asked a class once, write the story of your life in 2 pages and write it in 2 or 3 different ways and make one a comedy. So once they got over like, how do I do that? It actually worked out very well. And you can create a whole new way of perceiving your life, replacing your thoughts. So, maybe your story would be, I have a menial job and I have a small apartment. Maybe I could change that story to, I'm so happy that I only have to work a few hours a week and I have an apartment with a view of the ocean. So which story makes me happier? Another idea I like is visualizing an expectations box in your head. And every time a thought comes that is, you should, or you should have, you shove that thought up there. And then, eventually you can take that out to the garbage. So, that's an expectations box. Oh yeah, I'm noticing that. I'm going to try that. Another thing you can do is to focus all of your energy on something you can actively control that's positive. You can smile at 10 people today. You could be kind to someone that looks like they're very lonely. I could clean my house. All those things. You can express your feelings creatively. Blogging, painting, dancing, do yoga. All of those things help you reclaim that energy that you're giving away while all that turmoil. So stop pushing. Do things a little differently. Shake them up a little. But I've still not answered the question I'm saving. How do we finally, totally let go into grace? How can we achieve that deep soul level healing? Surrender to our wholeness, our holiness, the universal plan that's perfect for our lives. Well, Einstein nailed it as usual. He said, problems cannot be solved by the level of awareness that created them. So to truly surrender, we have to go beyond the mind. These hints I've given are helpful. We have to go beyond that. And how do we enter the field of grace? Ramana Maharshi said, grace is ever present. All that is necessary is that you surrender to it. So the door is open. It's a come as you are. A standing invitation. From one of my poems, God says to us, you cannot control your surrender, dear hearts. There is no such thing as organized surrender. That would be like dressing yourself for your own funeral. So we get very close, and why do we hold back? We have fear. We have to leap before we look. We have to trust. We have to. We have to cross that fine line. We want to live in bliss. We can't hold back if that's the way we want to go. But our woundedness gets in the way of our remembering we are never separate from God. We can trust. We can relax. We can take it easy. We can take baby steps. We don't have to struggle to reach God. There isn't anywhere else that God is and we're not. But we do have to struggle to tear away that veil that we have put between us and God. We have to give up the fear. And in the end, there's only one thing left for us to do. And it's a prayer. It's very simple. So I'll have you also put your arms up like a chalice to receive. And close your eyes. And say in your heart, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. God, show me. I don't know. God, show me. I don't know. God, show me. You can put your arms down, but please keep your eyes closed, and we'll take this into meditation.